Okay, so the West Coast is getting hammered with a ton of attention with natural disaster right now. I put this video out yesterday. It was a prediction that California was gonna get hit with a 7.0 earthquake within 48 hours. Is it running late? And don't worry, I've got a solid update for you on that. And another major storm about to hit the West Coast that I need to bring to your awareness. It's a double whammy storm and another bomb cyclone. And this bomb cyclone that's about to hit the West Coast is gonna smack it so hard that the National Weather Service is putting out statements like this. The impacts will include widespread flooding, roads washing out, hillsides collapsing, trees down, power outages, and the worst of all, likely loss of human life. We've been warning you to be prepping for an SHTF winter. Many have been prepping for this and many have not. New information you should know coming right up. Special welcome to our subscribers. Thanks for watching our videos. And if you're brand new here, like news that affects you, prepping tips, emergency preparedness how-tos, be sure to hit the notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. Okay, before I get to this life-threatening storm that the National Weather Service is warning us about, let's touch on that 7.0 earthquake that was supposed to hit California by earthquake predictions. So after putting that video out there a couple days ago, my community quickly told me to check out Dutch Sense page here on YouTube. So you know what I did? I thoroughly checked him out for 3 hours over the last couple days, in fact. And he said that there's many channels out there, prepping channels that do alerts like this, channels that don't give him a shout out on his quality prediction record, which I have to say is pretty good. Like I said, I watched a ton of his videos. I went back on some of his predictions, and the guy has a good track record. Actually, probably one of the most accurate prediction sites that people are saying they've ever seen. And I read through the comments too, and that's coming from people that have been watching him for 7 years, and he's been doing it for 12 years. So with that, Dutch Sense has a really good quality track record, a very solid success on his predictions. So like Ryan Hall is my go-to guy for weather, Dutch Sense is my new go-to guy for anything earthquakes. So if you guys are into the earthquake thing, he is very thorough. So what does this pro say about that 7.0 earthquake predictions guy that put that out a couple days ago? He checked into this guy and he puts out predictions of 6s and 7s all the time, and they're just not panning out. And he also says that this earthquake prediction guy doesn't publish his methodology for review, so possibly a questionable source. But I do know anything's possible, and something crazy could happen at any moment of the time, which means you should be prepared for any type of emergency. So what does Dutch Sense say about what's expected on the West Coast near California with that big earthquake?
So I would look for a new 5 to 5.4 to strike over along the eastern California border within the next few days. Now, what's over at the California eastern border? Let's go over to Google Earth and take a look and just show all my new viewers, my longtime viewers, already know what resides at the border with California and Nevada, which is right here. You see we have a few place marks. One's for Long Valley Caldera, the super volcano, quote unquote, with 1,000 cubic kilometers of melt down below, identifying it as a super volcano. It's just a big caldera. And right there at the border is where we'll watch for a new 5 to take place. Could go up as high as, again, like I said, up to near 5.4. About the same size as what's going on currently on the coast of California. I would then look for 4s to go across the plate over the next few days. So where we currently have 3s, we'll have 4s going up to 4.4, 4.5, mid-range 4, enough to get people's attention. So really that means Texas is about to get hit in central Texas, where the rings overlap here next to Midland, Lubbock. Then over to the east, we have to watch for wherever we see 2s, should see new 3s. So in this case, that means Oklahoma 3s, Arkansas 3s, going up to the east by northeast. We'll look where in between where these 2 current earthquakes are in Ohio and Quebec, or at Maine. That puts us right along the border of New York. So keep an eye out at the New York border. 3 sets of 3s, enough to get people's attention. If it goes any higher, I apologize. I'm trying to get it within a magnitude, so it could go as high as 4. If we got a bunch of 4s going across the plate, that would mean the plate's really in motion. And if we see that, of course, I'll do another update, but I'm looking for 3s to go across the plate and a new 5 out at the California-Nevada border. Now let's get into Southern California really quick. Zooming in, where are we going? Here's Lompoc, but what's that? What are those? 2 sets of offshore rigs. See that there? One there, for oil, of course, and one here. Now, those aren't the only. Those are out in the ocean. All here around Vandenberg Air Force Base. We have a bunch of pumping operations. I don't know if they're part of the base themselves, but we'll just zoom in and show you. Each one of these is an oil well, and we might be able to get the shadows on the jacks of the pumps there. There we go. And then we go down here and it really picks up in the number of pumping operations. The point of showing you these on land is to show you we're sandwiched in between two pumping operations, one out in the ocean, one on land, which comes right down here to the south side of the base, where they do space launches, actually, from Vandenberg. Okay, that's where the earthquake is, out along the coast.
So as there's tons of activity in the next couple days, he's not expecting anything more than like a 3 to 5. He's got a lot to say about earthquakes, so if earthquake tracking is your thing, shout out to Dutch Sense. His link to his channel will be down in my description below. And as for me, I'm going to keep in touch with him, and if he has any major alerts, I'm going to get that information to you guys. Because I believe the last 7.0 down in California, he gave people a 2-day warning on that one. Now, as for this crazy storm that's about ready to smash into the West Coast, yet again, I'm not joking, this big bomb cyclone that's about ready to hit the West Coast has the National Weather Service saying the impact will include widespread flooding, roads washing out, hillsides collapsing, trees down, power outages, and the worst of all, likely loss of human life. That is a big statement coming from the National Weather Service. So how big a storm is this going to be? Check this out.
Top of that, people are preparing for what could be one of the most impactful storms to strike the state in years. I want you to read what's on the screen here, because this is the National Weather Service in San Francisco stressing the widespread impacts in one of their forecast discussions. And it actually has some verbiage that is alarming, because they're trying to build that awareness that this is an event that you need to take seriously. If you look at the bottom there, Kiana, after all of the impacts, he lists likely the loss of human life possible because of this severe weather and the flash flooding concerns.
Yeah, it's definitely something scary to get, but again, we have to get that awareness out. We want you to be prepared for this system that pushes through.
It's going to be big. Another statement from the National Weather Service. This is truly a brutal system that we are looking at and needs to be taken seriously. I don't know what they know that we don't know, but they're making it sound pretty big. And putting out alerts like that just means awareness. Be aware, be ready. They're referring to it as the pineapple bomb cyclone. Let's see what an expert has to say over there at Fox News about what's coming.
We are going to have Bill Roche from the Sacramento's National Weather Service join us now and tell us more about this double whammy when it comes to that atmospheric river as well as that bomb cyclone. So again, we want to thank you for joining us here, Bill. Again, we know it's an active day for you, but when we're looking at the long duration of this heavy rain slamming the California coast, how concerned are you about the rivers swelling as well?
Yeah, we're really concerned. So we're, like you've all been talking about, we're really starting to see the cascading effects of all these different storms. And unfortunately, we have a very strong one coming on this Wednesday and Thursday, and which we're trying to concentrate on right now, but we can't forget that, yes, we're having even more after that one coming in next weekend. So it is a cascading effect of flooding. And actually this next storm, the one that's coming in Wednesday and Thursday, I would say our main concern from that one is the widespread damaging wind that will likely have that across a large part of Northern California. And since our grounds are so saturated, it doesn't take a whole lot to knock down trees at this point. And we're talking big trees, gusts to 40 miles an hour can do it. And we're expecting a large area of 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts starting on Wednesday and Thursday, combined with the rain. And then that's going to be cascading into the weekend and early next week when we have another series of atmospheric rivers coming in.
Wednesday and Thursday, that's today and tomorrow. And then we get the effects for the weekend. And he's right there, and he's right there. We're already wet from the previous storm, so the ground's saturated. It doesn't take as much effort to knock trees over into power lines. He's expecting only a 40 mile an hour wind could do that. We're expecting 50 to 60 mile an hour winds slamming the West Coast. And with the storms that we've just experienced, it looks like Oregon, California are going to be hit pretty hard. And we already saw Oregon and California with all of those power outages. This one might be worse. So we got hit with one crazy storm. Now we got the pineapple bomb cyclone coming in. And after the pineapple bomb cyclone's done with us, next week we get hit with a bunch more storms. More atmospheric rivers expected next week.
And we get more and more rain in the rivers. It just increases the chances of something bad going wrong with the levee. So that's why we're trying to get everybody aware that, you know, even if we aren't at flood stage on the main rivers, the levees need to hold for them.
So the meteorologist is right. The levees are a huge concern, which means some of you guys out there could have water halfway up your car. Nice thing is we have warnings and awareness, hopefully giving you time enough to be prepared, have what you need. There's gonna be traffic jams, there's gonna be power outages, there's gonna be flooding. You gotta watch out for those downed trees. Crazy winds can get very dangerous. So please share this video, get the word out so more people can be aware and prepared. I know on the last video, some of the people commented down below, great lists for people to be prepared with. Some of that consisted of generator, extra water, extra food, a source of heat, which we have many videos teaching you about emergency preparedness with emergency heat. Making sure your car has an extra pair of shoes, extra food, extra water. You want to think about maybe being stranded, not being able to go anywhere. How's it going to look for you if you don't have power? Food, water, heat, staying warm, major fundamentals. If you guys want extra tips, I'm sure some of the pro community down there will give you a bunch of list items. Prepared as much as possible. Like we've been saying, this is going to be a rough winter. Just at the beginning of January and already getting tested. Be safe and be ready. And as I know more, I'll let you guys know. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you guys on the next one.